our beluga whales a little bit, and then you guys will actually get to see our rescued carp seals. He is the newest resident of Wild Arctic. He moved here this summer. Like I said, he was rescued, but you guys will get to see him as well for just a little bit. And then we're going to walk through our back area. You guys will get to see some of the enrichment devices that we have, and also our fish house. So you'll get to see where all of our food is prepped for the day before I let you guys back out into our exhibit so you can see the rest of our animals. But you guys can follow me up this way. This is our train access area. If the beluga whale where the train will come in, so that's actually how so our train will just drive up here, and then we're able to lift our animals using a stretcher that I'm going to show you guys a little bit later. And we're able to just kind of move them out. So they would go in a transport box, so it's going to be a big box filled with water, and then they fly first class to wherever they need to go. But you guys can come up to the windows if you want. We have our beluga whale. This is our back area, or what we call our beluga pool here. So they do have access to both areas right now. It does look like, I think Oliver is in there. Like I said, they have access to both areas. So under those kind of gray doors that you see right there, there's actually a tunnel, so they can go out to our side. Just walk through our wildlife habitat. That's where that is. So Oliver is out here. He is 16. He was born at the Seaworld Park in Texas, and then he moved here in 2019. And then we also have Nunavik. So Nunavik is 13. He was born at the Shed Aquarium in Chicago, and then he moved here in 2021. So we just have the two boys right now. They are considered young adults, so they are kind of coming into adulthood right now. We also have two harbor seals that live here at Arctic, so their names are Bumstead and Sturby. So if you see some harbor seals in there, that's who those are. They're 26. They were born at Pacific Point, so they were born right here at Seaworld, but they were born at Pacific Point, and then they've lived here at Wild Arctic ever since. So you might also see something that kind of looks like a blanket in there. A lot of people ask about it. It's just a car wash strip. It is actually one of their favorite toys. So they absolutely love it. They like to carry it around on their little pectoral flippers, which is really cute. They like to carry it around on their tail flukes. But that is for sure one of their favorite toys. You never know what they're gonna like. They're just like kids or like your pet at home, where they have a favorite toy and they have some things that they're kind of not into. So it's really fun for us to come up with new enrichment devices and see what they're going to find reinforcing, what they're not going to find reinforcing. But the kelps are a hit. The kelps are a favorite. And then we also have our medical pool is in there, so it's kind of over towards your left there. The floor does rise on it, so if we need to do any sort of procedure on them, we can ask them to go into that medical pool. The floor will rise up, and we're able to kind of get hands on them that way if we need to. These guys are absolutely awesome about their voluntary husbandry, so we're able to do all kinds of sessions with these guys, but they will do voluntary ultrasounds, voluntary blood draws. One of our keepers is working on a voluntary x-ray behavior with them right now, which is absolutely awesome. But they are champs about needles. I am a chicken about needles and going to the doctor, but these guys are perfect about it. They will allow us to hold their tail flukes, and our vets can come out and just get a blood sample right from those tail flukes. They're absolutely great. All right, so in just a second here, we're gonna head into this hallway. So this is where our little harp seal wave is. But they're out first. So let's talk a little bit about Wayne before we get in there. So he is a harp seal, like we said. He is estimated to be about 2 years old. He was rescued from Pacific Finland. He's stranded over there. He had a bone infection in one of his back flippers, and he also had pneumonia. He also had ocular disease, so they thought that he might be completely blind, but it does turn out he does have quite a bit of vision, so he can see us. But we were actually chosen as his forever home because we do have experience with harp seals. So we did have a harp seal, a rescued harp seal that lived here for about 3 years. His name was Wiley. He passed away a couple years ago. But we do have experience with harp seals at this facility, so we were chosen as his forever home, which is a huge honor. We absolutely love him. So he is super cute, just a warning. But as we walk through there, they are a prey species, and he can be a little bit skittish, so we're just going to want to be nice and calm and kind of keep our voices low. But he has been very curious about the groups coming through today, which is pretty cute. So he probably will pop his head up so you guys can see him. But yeah, he's just started his training. He moved here this summer. he's doing absolutely awesome. He's super brave, but he's just learning. He's just starting to learn targets, so he can do like hand targets. So just touching his little snout to our hand, or with the target pole, he's really good about that too. So just touching his little snout to the end of a target pole, which I'll kind of show off some in a minute here. But yes. Yeah, so he will be introduced to our harbor seals at some point, probably very soon. But at some point he will be introduced to our harbor seals. We have an older harbor seal turtle that is probably going to be the first one that he meets. Turtle is 33 actually, so he is one of the oldest harbor seals in the park. The oldest being Jessica, who's 35. She lives in Seaworld. But Turtle is super patient, super wonderful. So Turtle will probably be the one that he meets, and then this is unrelated to them. You can also hear Oliver making those sounds. But yes, probably at some point in the very near future, he will be introduced to the turtle. Thank you. And then at some point, the hope is that he will live with the belugas as well.
He's so talkative.
He is talkative.
Yeah?
Yeah?
Good. Good.
He has a song on his heart.
He does.
Alright, so we can go ahead and walk through this hallway here.
Sorry, wait for the crowd. Alright, so I'll talk a little bit about what's going on through here. So we have our EEDs or toys in here.
So we have kind of smaller toys here. So we have these ones. We'll use them during sessions with the whales or with the harbor seals. So the whales can actually hold these ducks, which is super cute. And we can actually ask them. They both know a duck vocal, so we can ask them for a duck vocal. It's one of my favorite things in the world. It's pretty cute. But like I said, you never know what they're gonna like or dislike. So that yellow thing that's right behind you there, that is actually a favorite for not only our belugas but also for our walruses. They absolutely love it. So we also have our loofahs here that we can use during sessions. So these are for the belugas, so they're color coded. So this one's Oliver's, and this one's Nunavut's. And we can go out there and do loofah sessions with them. They absolutely love it. Belugas are constantly sloughing off dead skin, so I'm sure it feels really, really good, but they absolutely love those sessions. All right, and then we're gonna head down this hallway a little bit here. So we have our target pools here. So this is a training pool that we're able to use. I kind of talked about that a little bit earlier, but they can touch the end of their snout or rostrum to those target pools, and then we're able to kind of shape behavior after that. So sky's the limit with these guys, or with any of our animals really, with what we can train. It's just what we kind of come up with to train them. But the basis of our training starts with those target pools there. We also have a stretcher right here. I talked a little bit about beluga whales when they move facilities. So we are able to ask our whales to go into the stretcher, and these are actually the holes for the little pectoral flippers. So the little pectoral flippers would be kind of like that. But we can, we have a crane that we can use to lift this stretcher. It's very, very heavy, and our beluga whales also weigh 17 and 2,400 pounds. So we have a crane that can lift this stretcher all the way up, put them in a transport box, and then, like I said earlier, they can fly first class to wherever they're going to go. But there's a committee based out of the Georgia Aquarium that decides that. So it's based on a species survival plan. It's basically decided based on social groups or breeding opportunities. We are designated as kind of a holding facility for younger animals. So our beluga whales are both kind of young, just becoming young adults now. So it's possible that they'll move in the future, and we might get more whales here. Or it's possible that we'll get females moved here in the future. But as of right now, we're kind of a holding facility, so we're just teaching our boys how to be wonderful young gentlemen, which they already are, before they potentially move to another facility.
So Georgia controls the whole U.S.
I believe the committee is based out of the Georgia Aquarium that kind of makes decisions based on the U.S. And they do get input from all the facilities. So there's 6 facilities that have beluga whales, and they'll kind of get input from all of those things based on what would be best for the whales. Thank you. Yeah. All right. You guys can follow me down this way. So this is just another view of that same pool, the beluga holding pool. We actually have a dome that kind of is over that way, so it's over our habitat here. So our habitat is over this way. We have our dive locker right here. So we have all of our wetsuits are in here. We have all of our BCDs. So you can see we have a lot of gear in here. We will wear very thick wetsuits because our water is about 55 degrees. This is actually a really thin wetsuit, but we have thicker wetsuits in there. But we'll wear hoods, gloves, all of that, because like I said, it's about 55 degrees. We are the only animal care department at Seaworld Orlando that actually dives our own pools. So, bless you. We will dive our own pools. We are typically vacuuming up poop, so poop will settle on the bottom and we'll just vacuum it right up. It's really satisfying. But we can also scrub. We can also scrub our pools. So you guys can follow me down this way. We're gonna head into our fish house here. So this is where all of our dives are.
You better drive it. Sorry, guys.
Alright, so this is, like I said, this is where all of our dives are prepped. We have one person that will be on a fish house shift for the day. So if you're on a fish house shift, you'll get here at 5 a.m. And break out all of our fish into our sinks. So we have our thawing sinks here, so we'll put fish in the sinks, thaw it out for the day, put it in each bucket for each individual animal. So this is a walrus bucket. And I can tell which animal this bucket corresponds to by the color of the tape on the bucket. So it's purple, so I can tell that it's Garfield's bucket because I can look board right there, and you can see there's a little.
Is there a reason that everybody has to have their like own little thing, like their own food bucket, their own?
Yeah. So we actually we will weigh out each diet for each individual animal. So you'll see that little Cora gets 28 pounds of food a day. Because she's 4 years old, she's still very much a baby walrus, and she is still growing. So she gets 28 pounds right now, but she'll get more as she gets older. But we only want to feed Cora from Cora's bucket because then we know that she's getting exactly 28 pounds, and we know exactly how that's broken down too. So you can see right here, this H is for herring, the C is for Caitlin, the CL is for clams, and the SQ is for squid. So I can tell that Cora, when she at the end of the day, she will get 3 pounds, exactly 3 pounds of herring, and 6 pounds of Caitlin, and 19 pounds of clams. So it's really important that we only feed from that bucket because then we have exact numbers of what they're exactly
Do
getting.
you do the same thing for the animals that are in shows? Because I noticed they give them treats when they do things right.
So it's going to be the same. It's going to be the same concept. So it's the same. Each animal in the park will have a base just like this. So what's called a base. So this number underlined is the base. That's the amount of food that they're going to get for the day.
And where do you source the food from?
So there are different suppliers for the for different types of fish. So we have a different supplier for Caitlin, squid, clams, etc. We have a big fish house on the other side of the park that we call it Big Fish House. That is just a big freezer, and that's where all of the fish for the park will get sent in every week. It's massive. It is a huge freezer, biggest freezer I've ever seen. But it has all of the fish for the entire park. So we can take fish from that freezer, we can bring it over to our freezer right here, and then we will break it out into every day, put it in the cooler for a 24-hour thaw, and then bring it into the sinks and thaw it and put it in the buckets.
So do you get government funding to help with all this food? Because you do rescue animals and you save animals that could, from extinction. Government type of money.
No, I believe it's just Seaworld. But yeah, we do have all of the food for all the animals, including the rescues.
So then the people coming to the parks is important.
Yes, absolutely. So you guys coming to the parks is directly supporting our animals, and not just our animals here at Arctic. Our animals, our rescue animals over at Rescue, or the dolphins over at Dolphin Stadium, or Dolphin Nursery, or the killer whales, or any other animal in the park. So yeah, absolutely, it is absolutely super important. Do you guys have any other questions about our fish house? No? All right, so you guys can follow me out this way. We are going to kind of make a sharp left here. So this kind of but this is our water quality life support system area. So we have the second biggest water quality system in the park. The biggest being killer whale. So you guys can follow me on this way. Thank you. All right. And then our door out here actually leads out to our exhibits. So over on the right side, you can see our seal habitat. We have a harbor seal that might be out there, Vito. He does have access to a back area right now, but he really likes being out on habitat, so I'm sure he's out there. But his name is Vito, so you'll get to see him. We also have our beluga whale habitat is over on the left, so you guys can see our whales and also our harbor seals, both and sturvey. And then if you walk down our hallway there, there's also our walrus habitat. Right now they do have access to both areas. And the last time I looked or went over for a feed, they decided to be in the back. So they might be in the back right now. Sometimes they really want to sleep in, and that's totally fine. They are welcome to do that. But they might be out on our habitat. If not now, then maybe a little bit later.
Who decides on the names?
On the names? So it just depends. So we kind of, for a lot of it was kind of a group effort, so we'll just kind of do a little vote. So like for Dwayne, we just did a little vote. We all just decided we'd like the name Dwayne. So we just went for that. For little Cora, I know there was a public vote. I don't remember what the other two name options were, but I think there were 2 other name options, and Cora was decided.
Well, Caboodle and Cora, it's nice.
Yeah, exactly, the K names. Yeah. And I think for Ginger it was the same thing. Like when Ginger was born here, one of the walrus cats that has been born here at Seaworld, when she was a baby, I think it was the same thing. So it just depends. And then Nunavik, I'll use him as an example. So he was born at the Shedd Aquarium in Chicago. They name all of their belugas Inuit names, so they named him an Inuit name. I think it means Greater Lands. I also think it's originated in Canada, but they named him Nunavik. But yeah, just depends on the animal, I guess.
Thank you.
But yeah, do you guys have any other questions? All right, well thank you guys so much for coming to see us.
Oh, thank you.
Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you.
Thank you.